To be completely honest with you, I wasn't listening to a thing you just said.
My leg looks like Picasso. see, God damn it. Have you?
I think you know the answer.
You. Oh my God. This man, he needs to be studied in a lab.
I can explain everything.
No, he can't.
I can explain.
There is no shot.
The Lakers.
I'm not going to let you choose the Lakers.
Damn
Pick
it.
something else. We made such a mess. I am a casual.
We are mega casuals. Okay, don't tell Colin Coward, but I'm wearing a hat and it happens to be backwards. Hi guys. Yeah, another solo pod. Zach is out celebrating with friends and family. It makes me seem really pathetic and lonely that I'm doing the that's crazy. All my family is out of state. And all my friends don't want to hang out with me. No. No, I wanted to stay in tonight. I don't drink. I don't do anything like that. I'm not much of a clubber. So my ideal night is like hanging out, watching football, and trying to win in fantasy. And I was going to make this video in about like 30, 40 minutes when the Packers-Vikings game is done, because I was going to watch it because in my only league I made the championship in, I needed Jaron Hall to get me like 15 points. And he got taken out at halftime with, I want to say, 0.8 points? 0.08 points. So that is that. I got second place, but hey, I was the last seed, so I'll take that. No, so we're going to talk about the week. Hold on. My mic. Did I just tangle the mic? No. Okay, we're good. We're going to talk about the week. I've really liked the fact that we just like go game by game. I think that's a way funner way, because then we kind of get to, because I feel like sometimes there are storylines or headlines or just games that I forget to talk about when me and Zach just kind of start to ramble. So this is so nice that we can just kind of go game by game. Like I said, the Packers-Vikings game is going on right now. I'm not going to really talk about it because the Vikings are getting blown out. So basically, in my eyes, it's going to take them out of the playoffs. And the Packers are fighting for a playoff spot to lock up next week. So, yeah, that's all we're really going to talk about with that game. I think you can't really judge much of that game because the first half was played by Jaron Hall, who I think the Vikings should have given more of a chance to. Like, you put in Nick Mullins because you were like you took him out because he was going to turn the ball over, and then Jaron Hall had an interception that wasn't his fault, and then a fumble because your O-line was collapsing every single time it was dropping back. But yeah, no, it's Jaron Hall's fault. So that's that game. Did we talk about the Jets-Browns game at all? I mean, I talked about Joe Flacco in that post, so I don't think we really need to talk about it. Yeah, what's happened in that game's kind of past. Okay, Lions-Cowboys. Everyone's going to be like, why would you go for 2 in that situation? Why not tie the game and go to overtime? Hindsight is a hell of a drug. That's what I'm going to say. Because here's the thing. If the Lions go for it and they get it, at the post-game press conference, everyone's going to be like, wow, Dan, you had the balls to do that. What a great call. Blah, 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 blah. But you don't get it, and you're going to get criticized for it. Now, the refs helped the Cowboys at that last play. Now, I'm not saying they helped them the entire game because there were a lot of flags that were not being thrown towards that like would have been helping out the Cowboys. But on that last play, that should have been a flag. Or, no, it shouldn't have been a flag because he clearly reported as eligible. And those referees are now going to they've been punished by not being allowed to ref in the postseason. And this is something I said about Matt Canada where I was like, you know, he might be a really good guy, and you can be a good person but shit at your job. When someone shit at their job, they should be fired. And the refs, especially that crew, have shown consistently they're not good. So maybe it's time to get a new ref crew. Maybe bring up some guys from college who have had some consistency with them. Or, like, this is another thing is the NFL is an $18 billion industry. It is it brings in the most money out of every major sport in the world. And it is the only major sports league in the world that has part-time officials. You really can't make them full-time? Seriously? But, I mean, every league complains about officiating, but it's been bad this year. But, yeah, no, when you have consistently bad calling or refs that are consistently calling games in a poor manner, maybe if you're bad at your job, you shouldn't have that job anymore. Or if you're bad, maybe you should get retrained. Just saying. I'm still not as scared of the Cowboys as other teams, is what I will say, because the Lions don't have a phenomenal secondary. They have a good pass rush, and we did see that secondary get exposed by CeeDee Lamb. But this is a game that, in my opinion, should have been a bigger margin of winning. That's not how to say that. But the margin, what is the difference? That's the word. It's late. I said I don't drink. You'd think I do. No, the point differential, you would think it'd be larger in favor of the Cowboys, but it was not. It was a 1-point game and probably could have been a minus 1-point game if they lose this game. So the defense, they bend, but they didn't break. I mean, only 19 points to that explosive offense is pretty good. I think one of the things they probably were planning for was to shut down David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, especially after like the Bills game. Like that was something that I'm sure the Lions were going to attack. And as someone who has Jahmyr Gibbs in fantasy and needed him to show up in the playoffs, the Cowboys did a great job of scheming against him. So, but they're still not like, I wouldn't even call them the third scariest team in the NFC. I think it's the Niners, the Rams, and then maybe the Cowboys. But I still think the Niners could beat the Cowboys on any given day, every given day, honestly. And I think the Rams could be one of the scariest teams in the NFL right now. We'll talk about them later. So, yeah, that's that. Ravens, Dolphins. C-Mac is the MVP. Tyreek is the second in MVP. But Lamar deserves to have his name spoken in the same conversation. But it's like C-Mac, Tyreek, and then like triple that, and then it's Lamar. Because Lamar had a freaking great game against, you can't say that the Dolphins have bad defense because they have gotten significantly better every single week, especially since they got back Jalen Ramsey. They have been a really, really good defense. So the Ravens, they beat the Niners. They are the best team in the NFL right now. That is the fairest thing to say. They're probably going to lose next week, if I had to guess, because they're going to rest their starters. So they may not have the best record in the NFL, but they have beat the Niners, who everyone thought was going to be the best team in the NFL. And they just put a stomp down on a Miami team who had an explosive offense. And, yeah, Miami still put up 19 points. But look at the point differential. They allowed a 56. So who gives a rat's ass about that 19? Miami really dropped 70 on a team this year and then allowed 56. So the Dolphins, this is significant enough where they're actually, if they lose next week to the Bills, they are not going to win the division, which is insane, by the way. The Bills could win the division, which we'll talk about that in a second. Actually, we'll talk about that right now because it's next order. Patriots, Bills. I'm not going to talk about the Patriots because they lost and Zeke did not do enough for my fantasy team. But the Bills, I was just saying like Niners. Here's what I'll say. The scariest teams, in my opinion, going to playoffs are the Ravens, the Niners, the Rams, and the Bills. Those teams, no one should want to play any of those teams. And luckily, no one will have to play the Niners or the Ravens in the first round. But the Bills and the Rams are going to be not fun to play against because they are playing with house money and they do not give a shit. They are legit having fun. Like, if you're just watching box score, you'd be like, man, the Bills did not have a great game. Like, Josh Allen did not do that much. No, they didn't need him to do that much. He was just doing enough. Like, it's like, you know, when you're sitting on when you're sitting on the couch and the remote's right there, it's probably a lot quicker if you just sit up and grab the remote. But instead, you just kind of like really reach for it and it takes you like 15 seconds and then you get it. That's kind of what the Bills are doing. Like, yeah, they could have just stood up, grabbed the remote, and put up 40, and that would have been that. But they're like, nah, we'll take it easy. Why not? So we'll put up 27, 6-point game, but it was not that close at the end of the day. Now, can the Bills beat the Dolphins next week? Where's the game at? Please tell me it's in Buffalo. That makes everything so interesting. It is not. It's in Miami. But that's warm weather. Ooh. Can the Bills win the AFC East? I think they're better right now, man. Is that crazy? I don't think it is, because I have them as my third or fourth scariest team in the NFL right now. Nope, that's not crazy. I think they could do it. That's not a hot take at all. Dolphins fans about to be really mad on the TikTok. Falcons Bears. We're not gonna talk about that because they're both somehow in the playoffs race, but they're both. When I said that if the Falcons were a spice, they'd be flour. That's the representation of this game. I will say though, Justin Fields. The Bears are going to keep him, right? They're going to trade the pick. I was wrong. They're going to trade the pick, right? Because Justin Fields looks insane. Texans, Titans. Titans still look as bad as me and Zach predicted at the beginning of the season. I'm never going to let Titans fans live that one down. And Texans look like they're getting back on track. I mean, you can't just say oh, they beat the Titans. The Titans do have a significantly good run defense. And Tank Dell's been out. So you kind of had to rely on the run, but you would have thought they would have had to. But 27-3, is he going to win Rookie of the Year? Is CJ Stroud going to win Rookie of the Year? I don't know. It's between him and Puka, man. I don't know. If he doesn't get hurt for sure, but this is hard. Colts Raiders. Raiders are eliminated. Colts still have that spot. This game could have gone either way, though. This is another one the refs really fucked over, the Raiders. But the Raiders have a promising future. They're probably going to extend their interim head coach just to be the head coach for the future, which I think is the smart thing to do because he's going to be cheaper, and he already is in the system, and the players like him. So that's just the right thing to do rather than firing him and trying to bring in someone splashy like Josh McDaniels. And the Colts still in the playoffs, but again... The Colts fall into that Colts, Steelers, Jaguars. What other teams are going to make the playoffs? What are the NFC? Whatever team in the NFC gets that 7 seed. None of those teams are scary. They're going to be there. Cool. I think Shane Steichen definitely deserves votes for Coach of the Year, but he doesn't deserve it. That still, in my opinion, goes to Kevin Stefanski. I mean, rookie head coach on his second quarterback and didn't have his running back for half the season, and their O-line is kind of not as been good as you'd expect them to be, and their defense took a hit as well. So, with everything he's had to face, I'm very impressed with Shane Steichen. I can't wait to see what he's going to do with Anthony Richardson back in this team next year. Jaguars kicked the shit out of the Panthers without Trevor Lawrence. I am, like I just said, though, I'm not scared of the Jaguars in the playoffs right now. They've been playing so inconsistently on the field, and Trevor Lawrence has not had a breath of healthy air in a month. So if I'm the Jaguars, I would like to be able to sit Trevor Lawrence next week so he's healthy going into the playoffs, but you're not even a for sure playoff spot because you need to win and you're in. If you lose and then the Steelers win and the Colts-Texans game doesn't tie, then you're out of the playoffs. So they have to play Trevor next week, which is great because I needed him for fantasy this week as my other quarterback, but I played Jaron Hall instead. I'm so happy about that, guys. The Rams, Giants. Okay, what happened at the end here? Hey, Los Angeles. Hey, Sean. I'm in Los Angeles. Hey, Sean. What happened? Why was this so close? Because it didn't feel close at all the entire game. That's the thing. You see this TV right here, guys? That's what I watch football on. And each third of that screen will have its own game, and then my computer screen will have a Steelers game on. If there's 10 games on at one time. But I'm watching all the games. That game at no point was I the Giants could do this. And then the game ended and I was like, wow, it was only a point. It felt like 10. So it was a point game, but the Rams felt in control the entire time. Like I've said the last couple of weeks, they're the hottest team arguably the hottest team in the NFL right now. And they just look phenomenal. They look like how they did. Imagine the Rams team that won the Super Bowl, but with a consistently great running back. That's what they are. That Rams team that won the Super Bowl did not have. They were doing a rotation of running backs, and now they have the guy. Kyron Williams is going to be their running back for the next 5 years, and that's probably how long he'll be the running back for, because that's apparently the shelf life of running backs now. But that's more than they would have got. how did I forget? That's one of them I got Todd Gurley for. So, yeah, Kyren Williams is going to be the future running back of this team. He is an all-pro, in my opinion. Yes, he is. Kyren Williams, this is, okay, if you disagree with this and you're not watching football, Kyren Williams is the top 5 running back right now. Yes, he is. My guy missed, 4 to 5 games, and he still was the second person to get 1,000 yards. Yeah, Kyren Williams deserves respect on his name. He's one of the best running backs in the NFL right now, and he is one of the reasons why the Rams is one of the scariest teams going into the postseason. The Giants, congratulations. You are higher up in the draft board now. It's really hard to evaluate the Giants right now. I'd have to wait until the complete offseason when the draft order is set, and then I'll probably talk about them. But it's just they have so many needs right now, and they've had so many needs over the last couple of seasons that it's hard to just be like this and that and you're good. No, it's not just A and B need to be fixed. It's A through Z at this point. Cardinals Eagles. As a Steelers fan, seeing the Eagles lose to the Cardinals was so great. Also, I just don't like Nick Sirianni or the fans. The players I actually really like to root for because Jalen Hurts is getting a little too corny for my eyes right now. But I really do like the players on the Eagles roster. I love watching their posts on social media where they're getting interviewed by their social teams. It really does humanize them and it shows their personality, and I love it. I love it. But Nick Sirianni, he just bothers me, his attitude and everything, and it's the whole tough guy routine. I just don't like that. And then the fans, I don't talk about the fans because we already know about the fans. But damn, did it feel good to watch them lose this game. Now, did they get blown out like Pittsburgh did? No, but they lost. And the play calling was really weird. Okay. What's to take away from the Eagles loss is that Jalen Hurts was a little overrated. Jalen Hurts was being his stats are completely being carried by the whole tush push thing. You take the tush push out and he is 8 touchdowns less. I saw a stat that on Cam Newton's 40-yard touchdown run that he had 8 or 9 years ago, that is the same amount of yards as Jalen Hurts has rushed for on 8 of his touchdowns. That's insane. So yeah, no, the Eagles are really overrated in my eyes. I thought they were one of the best teams for the first half of the season, but no, they're not. You have one really, really good play, and I will say they have kind of revitalized DeAndre Swift's career, but it looks like Devonta Smith's going to be hurt, so you're losing that. Dallas Goedert has been okay since he's come back, but AJ Brown since week 13 or 14 has been very inconsistent, and I don't think that's an AJ Brown problem. I think that's a Jalen Hurts problem and a scheming problem. Losing Shane Steichen and how did I forget his name? Freaking Arizona's coach. Oh my God, Jonathan Gannon. Losing Steichen and Jonathan Gannon clearly they were huge roles to this team, and they weren't just plug and play. So the Eagles also need to kind of be worried about facing a Rams. They are one of those teams. They're in the same category as the Cowboys. Now, if they played the Cowboys, then the Cowboys would win. But it's the same situation where it's I'm not really scared of either of those teams. There's other teams that I'd be more scared of. Saints, Buccaneers. The Buccaneers let me down, man. I thought they were going to easily win this game. Derek Carr and Chris Olave let my fantasy team down. Here is how I don't know how I made this championship. I had a stack of Chris Olave, Derek Carr, and Alvin Kamara in a 2-quarterback league. And I made the championship. And I lost by 9 points to a guy with Christian McCaffrey, by the way. So, Chris Olave and Derek Carr? No, not Chris Olave. It's not your fault Derek Carr is a horrible quarterback. Hey, Derek Carr, why? Dang, that was a bummer. But yeah, if you would have told me the Saints won this game, I'd be like, cool, I probably won my fantasy matchup then. But no, they completely shut down the run for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think that's the biggest thing is if Tampa Bay can get the run game going, then it opens up the field for Baker. I'm not saying Baker needs a run game, but that's just every quarterback. It really helps a quarterback's game whenever the run game is operating great because you have safeties drop down, you can tape the lid off, and then if the safety's dropping back, you can run the ball down their throat, and that's kind of what's been the bread and butter for the Buccaneers this season, and they lost. They still are leading that division. So I will think that I do think that they will win the division. So I think they're still gonna make the playoffs. But like they could have had an easier cushion, and they let me down, man. Niners, Commanders. Commanders are 4-12, and the Niners are 12-4. Is that weird to anybody else? Like 4 wins or 4 losses seems kind of like high. Like before the season, like week 7 comes around, I think we're watching them, and you told me they have 4 losses. I'm like, no, they do not, but they do. But they're the 1 seed, and they're gonna get a bye, and they are the second best team in the NFL right now, and that is that. Not much more to say about that. Also, the Commanders should really. The Commanders, in my opinion, are the most likely team to trade up to the 1 pick with the Bears to get Caleb Williams. You are in a team that is kind of doing a branding overhaul. You do not have a quarterback. You're about to do a coaching fire spree, whether it's head coach, offensive coaching, defensive coaching, like coordinators, everything is going to go. They're going to completely clean house. So it's a completely great situation for rookie quarterback because you just get to start with the coaching staff and you get to learn with them. So if I had to guess, if the Bears do not use the first overall pick to draft Caleb Williams, it'll probably be the Commanders, in my opinion. Chargers, Broncos. Does anybody care? This is the meh game of the week. That's what I'll say. And then Bengals, Chiefs. I do feel bad for Patrick Mahomes. Like, I don't enjoy all of his whining and crybabiness because he's been kind of coddled by the referees and all the weapons he's had for the last couple of seasons. But I do feel bad for him because his team is not giving him any help. Travis Kelce might be done. If the Chiefs win the Super Bowl this year, he's gone. Like, he's going to retire. He does not look like himself. He doesn't have any receivers besides Rashee Rice that want to help this team win. And even then, like, Rashee Rice is good, but he's not what this team needs. Like, second-year Rashee Rice might be a phenomenal player for the Chiefs. But right now, I don't think he's enough to get them over the hump because Travis isn't what he's usually been. The defense is still really, really good. I know 17 points to Jake Browning is like, it seems like a lot, but they essentially shut down Jamar Chase. Like, how many yards did Jamar Chase have in this game? 41. It's a great job. Like, wide receivers, 41, 29, 19. And then tight ends, 38, 21. It was a Joe Mixon game, essentially. So, if, again, the Chiefs fall into the same situation as, like, the Chiefs are in the same category as, like, the Cowboys and Eagles, where it's like, yeah, you're a fine team. I'm not really scared of you. Like, if I'm ranking those teams, it's Cowboys, Chiefs, Eagles. Ooh, I just upset a lot of people in the Philadelphia area. But I'm right. Like, am I? Oh, but Connor, the Eagles played the Chiefs this year, and the Eagles won. Okay. I'll still take the better coaching and the better staff and quarterback in that situation, and arguably the better defense. But yeah, the Chiefs are like, for the first time since they've been like making the playoffs pretty consistently, I'm not like if Pittsburgh played the Chiefs in the playoffs, I would not be like, oh no, we have to play the Chiefs. Like, no, I'd be like, all right, let's see what we can do. And then that's the last game. I'm not really going to talk about the Seahawks-Steelers game because I made a whole video talking about that, so you guys can go check that out. I do game recaps every single week for the Steelers since I'm a Steelers fan. So, yeah, I'm not really going to touch on that. Whatever, like, social media things that I'll make from that video alone. But, yeah, that was this week. I'm trying to think, is there, like, anything that I really want to talk about that I haven't yet? Because it's only been 23 minutes. Let me take a swig out of my Big K. I don't think there is. Week 18 is definitely going to be interesting, just mainly from the NFC standpoint because there's so many teams that are still technically like in it for a playoff spot. The AFC is more just like who's going to get that 7th seed. Okay, yeah, you know what? Let's do this. I'm gonna rank the teams that are I'm gonna rank the teams that are in the playoffs right now. NFL playoff picture. All right, we're gonna do a quick power rankings heading into the playoffs. All right, these are my post week These are my post week 17. What week is this? 17. Yeah. These are my post week 17 NFL power ranking. Why am I'm making so many words here. This is the hard thing about like just doing it as a normal podcast, but also having to like get it out there for social medias as well. But these are my post week 17 power rankings. Do I go 10 or down to 1, or do I go 1 down to 10? I think let's do 10 down to 1. How about that? Okay. Oh, this is gonna be hard. This is actually gonna be really hard. Oh, the Lions are there too, man. Come on. All right. Okay. This is really hard off the dome. I'm not gonna lie. Am I really gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? People that are watching the podcast are like, can you fucking do it already? Okay. I'm just gonna rank the top 10 teams going to the playoffs, okay? So my top 10 teams at the end of week 17. Oh my God, this is really hard. Holy shit. This is actually really difficult. Oh my God. This is why I usually like plan this and I don't just do this off of the dome, because I usually sit around and like look at, oh my God, this is rough. Okay. I can do this. This is fine. At number 10? No, don't make me do this. This is so hard. This is crazy. Oh my God. We're not going to do 10. We're just going to do top 5. We're doing top 5. Top 10 is way too many teams. I could not just do that off the top of my head. That's crazy. You guys are insane for asking for that. Shut up. Yes, you did. Number 5. Oh, who's the 5th best team in the NFL right now? Number 5, the Los Angeles Rams. I've been talking about it. They're one of the hottest teams in the league right now. I would not want to play them if I was in the playoffs right now. They are just finding their groove. No, they're not finding their groove. It's been found. They're using the groove to their benefit. They're freaking unstoppable right now. It's unreal. 4 is going to be really hard. Number 4 is the Buffalo Bills. Very similar to the Rams. They have been unstoppable as of lately. And now that they have a run game and a pass game and a good defense, if I'm the AFC, I don't want to play this team. Like I said, they're the Rams of the AFC, and the Rams are the Bills of the NFC. Moving on to 3. Oh, man. This is crazy. 3 spots left. Because I have 1 and 2. It's just that 3rd spot. I don't like this. I'm actually going to change it. Number 5, Dallas Cowboys. They've been really, really good, but they've been really, really inconsistent. If there's other teams, the 4 that are higher than them right now, I think could beat them in the playoffs. So we're just going to go there. Number 4. 4 and 3 are the exact same team, basically, okay? 4 is the Rams. 3 is the Bills. These are both the exact same team. The Bills are the Rams of the AFC, and the Rams are the Bills of the NFC. They are both on a hot streak. They both found their groove, and they are both going to the playoffs with house money. That's what I was talking about earlier. Like, when you're playing without anything to lose, you are so unfair because you can just play your game of football. And if you lose, who cares? You were playing to lose. But, like, I don't know, man. They're the hottest teams in the NFL right now, in my opinion. And then number 2 is the 49ers. Come on, let's be real. And number 1, the team that beat the 49ers and just locked up the 1 seed in the AFC, it is the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I will await the Dolphins and Browns and Eagles fans who will now roast me in the comment section, as well as the Cowboys fans who will roast me for putting the Cowboys at 5. Go on. That was so hard off the dome. I really don't like doing that off the dome. Oh, did you guys hear that? My hip just popped. Oh, my God. Kind of scuffed podcast today, but honestly, like, next week is going to be the, like, week it'll be all the headlines coming together. We'll be able to kind of like really decide who gets what awards and our opinions and how the playoffs are going to shake out, because we'll basically know the playoff order by the time next week's episode comes out. But it's just it's really hard the week before because we don't have anything definitive. We know the top seeds in each conference, and we know a couple of teams that have locked their ticket to the playoffs. But yeah, I think 30 minutes. I'm not going to force any more conversation here, so I think we'll just wrap this up. Zach will be back next week. I'll be back next week. Happy New Year, you guys. Wishing you guys nothing but good luck and a great year. You know, what are you looking at? Hold on. What are you looking at? Oh, you want to say something? No? Okay. Well, I'm going to go edit this and, I don't know, watch a movie. What do you guys care? Let's go. Bye, guys. We'll see you guys next week.